Hello and good morning to all at Appleby House. Hi everybody. My name's Norm McNamara and I'm the founder of the Global Purple Angel Dementia Awareness Campaign. I'm so sorry I can't be with you today, but it will become apparent a little later on that I'm not that well enough to travel so far as you guys are so far away, and I live in deepest Devon, so it's a heck of a trek. What I want to do today really is just do a small presentation because it's what I would normally do if I was stood there in front of you. And I would like to welcome you all to the Purple Angel Dementia campaign. It's a wonderful campaign that's grown from absolutely nothing within 4 years and is now in 65 countries around the globe and with over 900 ambassadors worldwide. So it's just an incredible campaign. And the best thing about it is, not one of us gets paid for what we do. We all volunteer because we're so passionate about what we do. And I would like to say thank you to each and every one of you, for you guys, for exactly what you do. So here's a demonstration, presentation. You can tell it's live. A presentation, just to explain a little bit more about what dementia is and what we do at the Purple Angel. Dementia, I am asked many times, what is it and how do I explain it? And the biggest question I get is dementia and Alzheimer's the same thing? The way we explain it here at the Purple Angel is that dementia is the umbrella term, and below it are types of dementia. So therefore, Alzheimer's is a type of dementia, Lewy bodies is a type of dementia, vascular is a type of dementia, etc., etc. So therefore, you know, dementia is the umbrella term, and there's all different types, as you would have cancer, and then types of cancer: cancer of the lung, cancer of the leg, cancer of the heart, cancer of the blood, you know, and we explain it that way. And then people say to me, yeah, but what is it? You know, how do you explain as a layman what dementia is? And the best way we explain it is, if you can imagine a Christmas tree that's absolutely adorned with lights, and every one of those lights that's on the Christmas tree is a memory. And then every now and again, one of those lights goes out, and then another, and then another, until eventually the last light that goes out is the memory that reminds you how to breathe. And we all know what happens then. Ladies and gentlemen, you've got to remember that dementia is a terminal disease. There is no known cure. But what we do at the Purple Angel is talk about two words. It's our what they call buzzwords or strapline, whatever you want to call it these days. And that's inclusion and engagement. But if you include people with dementia and you engage people with dementia, every now and again, one of those lights on that tree comes back on. And as a person living with dementia myself, it is the most wonderful feeling in the world. So at all times, you must include and engage people with dementia, and you'll be surprised, actually, how much they have to give back. One of the stories we tell is of a lady who was in a care home, and all she did all day was this. Now, I don't care how patient you are. Eventually, that will get on your nerves, because you've got to remember we're only human, each and every one of us. So one day, one of our ambassadors went up to the lady and said, "Can I ask, please, why do you do that?" And do you know why she did it? Because during the war, she was a Morse code decoder. And what she was doing was getting our boys and girls home safe from the war. Every time I tell that story, the hairs stand on the back of my neck. And they are doing now. That lady suddenly went from zero to hero, because everybody wanted to know all about what she did during the war and all her stories. People who wouldn't normally speak to her walked up to her and said, What are you doing now? What is it that you're sending? What are you saying? It's the most incredible story, but true story. And this is what happens when you include and engage people with dementia. The other story is, I always remember, is we had a lady who was 90, and she said that her husband, who was 91, accused her of having an affair. Now, with all the best one in the world, but she was distraught, absolutely distraught. And we said, "Wow, what's happening?" And what it was, every time she went upstairs, the husband followed her, and there was a mirror on the wall on the hall upstairs. And when he looked into that mirror, he didn't see himself. He saw somebody else. So every time he followed her upstairs and saw this strange man in the mirror, he thought she was seeing somebody else upstairs. Perfectly true. So we suggested that they brought the mirror downstairs, put it on the wall near the door. So every time she got up and he got up, he could keep an eye on him. True. And he wasn't going upstairs. Do you know that lady never had a problem since? It's just, the Purple Angel is all about keeping it simple. It's all about trying to use simple things to make the most difference. As we always say, the smallest thing can make the biggest difference. With types of dementia, we all know that Alzheimer's, they think, is the most common type. I say they think for a good reason, which I'll come to in a bit. Alzheimer's, put in plain words, is like your brain's on a loop. Always, always, always. Repeating itself. So when somebody asks you the same question 50 times, every time they ask that question, it's the first time they have ever asked it. They have never asked it before. And as annoying as it is, and as mind-numbing as you might think it is, to them, it's absolutely brand new. And the worst thing you can do is say to people, "You've asked me that 10 times. You've asked me that 15 times, 20 times before." Because they said, "No, I'm not." Because they don't remember doing it, because that is their first time. Lewy bodies, which is the type of dementia I have, is a different beast altogether. Lewy bodies within some people means that people can do what I do and what I'm doing now first thing in the morning. But by 5 o'clock, I get quite fidgety. By 8 o'clock, apparently I want to go home. And by 9 o'clock, I'm in bed, or I've been in bed an hour. And that's when I start to have horrendous night terrors, horrendous hallucinations. I would just like to explain with Lewy bodies the difference between dreams, nightmares, and night terrors. Dreams are what we all have. Nightmares are what we all have. Night terrors, if you can imagine watching your worst horror film, or seeing it in real life, and how sick to the stomach you would be, that is night terrors. Hallucinations are not night terrors. Hallucinations is when I actually get out of bed physically, I run around the house, I'm fighting people, I am wide awake, because I'm seeing people that's not there. That's what hallucinations are. What I see, nobody else sees, but it's very, very real to me. And it's a hugely different from night terrors. These can also happen during the day with Lewy bodies, because one time I was sat in a cafe in Barnstaple, and Elaine had gone to the counter, my wife, for a coffee. And as I was watching round, or looking round, I saw the lift open facing me. And who should come walking out the lift? Me. Yeah, me. Suited, booted, walking right towards me. I shouted, I screamed, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Elaine couldn't run over. Goodness knows what the people in the cafe thought. I kept screaming, "Luke, it's me, it's me." Elaine just tried to calm me down. She tried to turn me around so I couldn't see it. I was convinced I'd seen me. And it wasn't until later, because it's usually saying, "No, you can't. There's nobody there." Because it's like saying, "You're not really watching me now. I don't exist. This is all in your imagination." You know, you say, "No, it's not." So it's the same thing. So later on, Elaine said to me, You know, he looked nothing like your noise. But at the time, I was fully convinced that it was me. So hallucinations as part of Lewy bodies. Now, the reason why I said about Alzheimer's is I'm a firm believer that there's a lot of people out there that have been misdiagnosed. I was misdiagnosed. I was told I had Alzheimer's at first. And then 5 years down the lane, I was told it wasn't Alzheimer's, it was Lewy bodies because of the hallucinations and nights I was showing themselves. The amount of people, the amount of people I've met that have the same symptoms as me, but have been told they have Alzheimer's, I've lost count of. So I really do think that there's a lot of people out there with Lewy bodies who've been told they've got Alzheimer's, which can be quite dangerous because some drugs for Alzheimer's are totally different than some drugs for Lewy bodies, and it can make things worse. So it's something to keep in mind, guys. Vascular is when people have many strokes and things like that, and the brain's not getting any oxygen. And obviously frontal lobal and all is the front of the brain, which is the devastating one. Some people say, what medication are you on? Because you look okay. Well, why people come up to me and say, you don't look like you've got dementia. What am I supposed to look like? Do you know, does people with dementia all look the same? And the best one is, you don't sound like you've got dementia. Well, I didn't know that we all spoke a different language. It is absolutely beyond me. And I have to say, one of my pet hates is when people say, oh yeah, my auntie or my uncle or my grandma or someone I know has a touch of dementia. A touch? Is that like being a little bit, a touch pregnant? Yeah, it's unbelievable. When you've got dementia, you've got dementia. That's quite simple. That's all there is to it. We worked with somebody called the funeral directors all over the country. We went on what we call a tour of the UK with the Purple Angel, giving presentations and talks like this. We went to really exciting places like Huddersfield and Burnley and Birmingham. If anybody's out there from those places, please don't get me wrong, they're beautiful places. I come from Bolton in Lancashire, and well, if you've been, you know what I'm talking about. But no, we did a presentation all around the country for different funeral directors. And the reason why was because people were coming up to us who worked in that industry and saying, we don't know what to do, because sometimes the person with dementia has been left behind. And it's the person or the carer that's died. And when they get to the funeral, they were nudging the person next to them saying, who's that in the coffin? Now, with all the best will in the world, you don't have the right to turn around and say, or anybody has the right to turn and say, that's your wife, or that's your husband. Because, as we spoke about Alzheimer's, that might be the very first time they've heard the news. And who gives you the right to break that kind of news? You hear of people saying to people with dementia, when they ask for their mother or they ask for their father, and they're quite clear in the 80s, and instead of saying, oh, they've gone to the shop or they'll be back in a minute, they turn around and say, what do you mean your mom? She's been dead for years. If you can cast your mind back to the first time you were told that somebody had died that was very close to you, can you imagine being told that time and time again, and how upsetting it would be? It's awful, isn't it? Nobody has the right to do these things. And that's the reason why we ask people to turn around and say, if it happens in a funeral, you can turn around and say, oh, I don't know, do you know? Oh, we'll find out soon. You know, must be somebody we know, that's why we're here. And within 5 or 10 minutes, hopefully they've forgotten they've asked the question anyway. But it saves that upset. And it's little things like that we do at the Purple Angel. We do much more than that, but this is what we do to help people. I was diagnosed 10 years ago, and when I was first diagnosed, I really threw my toes at the pram. I couldn't believe it. You know, it would happen to me at age 50. I'm now age 60. I know I don't like it, but but I was diagnosed, and I couldn't believe that I'd had that kind of diagnosis, even though I'd lost my father and my grandmother to this illness. And because I have, and because I've read the book, I've read the last page, I've read the last line, I know exactly how it's going to end. This is why I was so devastated, because I knew what was coming. But my family turned around after me 3 months down the line, throwing my toys at the pram and having tantrum, you could say. They said, well, Norms, you've got two choices. You can either do something about this, or you can just sit back and let it take you over. And that was 10 years ago. So if anybody ever asked me the best advice I ever got, and it was that from my family. And then one day, I walked into a shop in Torquay, and I was having a bit of a dementia moment, because, as you know, people with dementia have trouble with the coins and the £5, £10 notes. And I said to the guy behind the counter in this card shop, I said, I'm sorry, I've never hidden my disease. I've always told people I have dementia. Am I frightened of having dementia? I'm absolutely petrified. Absolutely petrified. But am I frightened of having dementia? I'm petrified, yeah. But am I ashamed of having dementia? Not one bit. Why should I be? It's just like any other illness. So I said to the guy behind the counter, I said, I'm sorry, I said, but I have dementia. I'll be with you in a minute. I'll get it together. And he went, so have I. I found it funny. Now, for some people, they find dementia funny. I have no idea. It's a terminal illness. If I'd have been that same guy who walked in and said to the guy behind the counter, I'm sorry, I have cancer, I've got 6 months to live, would they have found that funny? No, not at all. So why should they find dementia funny? That day I walked out of that shop, 8 years ago now. That day I walked into my wife's arms, and I vowed that day that nothing or nobody would ever go through the same humiliation I did in Torquay where I live. Little did I know it would go so far. And that day, what we call the Torbay Dementia Action Alliance was born. And from that was born the Purple Angel, but only 4 years ago, 4.5 years ago now. In 4.5 years, as I said, we are now in over 65 countries around the world. We have over 850, 90, possibly 900 global ambassadors around the world, helping people each day. We were the first people ever to open a memory cafe in America. And for all you guys around about my age, you'll know what I mean when I say we were, the Beatles weren't the only ones to crack America. You know, we did it as well. We opened the very first one in Minnesota about 3 years ago. There are now over 400 memory cafes in the United States of America, and one opening every month. It's an absolute phenomenon. And all because we said we were doing it for free. Excuse me. So sorry. And there's so many now opening every month in America. It's just quite incredible. We have Purple Angel cities in America with thousands of shops showing the Purple Angel logo and helping people with dementia. We have memory cafes in Nigeria, in Turkey. You know, we have ambassadors in China. You know, it's been the most incredible journey, and all because people want to help. This year we held our third RAD, which is World Rock Against Dementia. 22 countries around the world joined in. 22 countries, all doing the same thing at the same time. Hundreds upon hundreds of events globally went on all over the UK and all over the world, and involved millions of people, and all because we want to involve and include, and we actually wanted to celebrate that day the people who live with dementia and remember all the great things that those we've lost used to do. It was our biggest year yet, and I'm only hoping that you guys and everybody else around the country will join us in this as well. Something else we do is what we call MP3 players. Now, you've probably heard the playlist below and things like that, and there's a lot of people doing this, but the Purple Angel do it a little bit different. What we do is actually play the music, and we sync the music to them. So we ask the family what favourite music they like, you know, what's the favourite artist, you know, usually Bing Crosby, Frank Sinatra, people like that, or even more modern stuff. And what we do, we put suggestions within that music. Now you're gonna have to, I'm going to apologise for this because I can't sing. But what we do, if you know the song, "Come fly with me, let's fly away," what we've actually done is we've inserted some words in that. So when a person's living on their own or in a care home and not being very sociable and they're sat in the room all day, what we've done, we've put the words in the song so it goes, "Come fly with me, let's fly away. Have you had your cup of tea today? Don't forget to have your cup of tea today," and so on. Yeah, I know, it's a simple idea. It's a very, very simple idea, but it works. We've had some incredible results from this. We've had people whose demeanour is a lot better and UTIs are less. We remind people to eat, to drink, to lock the door, you know, to switch the fire off within kind of music that they like. It's not just a case of putting headphones on and playing music, which is what a lot of people do. And we're having some incredible, we've been doing this 2 years and we've been collating evidence for 2 years and we're not that far off publishing. And once we do, we're hoping that this will spread far wide. But up to now, at this moment, if you know anybody what this could help or this could help, please contact me. You have my emails. Shauna will have my email. And please contact me. Talking of emails, if any of you listening to this today wants to email me, please ask Shauna to email me or email me on Noams, that's NOOOMS, 2 O's in Noams. So it's noams@gmail.com. I answer every email that I receive, and I have to say I receive quite a few a day, but I answer everyone because I firmly believe that if people have taken the time and trouble to email me, then the least I can do is email them back. You know, it's just politeness, really, isn't it? What we've also done as well, just before I close, is we've made a ringtone. Shauna, you can ask me for the details for this if you want, and I'll send it to you. And this is for everybody, not just people with dementia. Every week I open the paper and I was horrified to see that people were being ripped off over the phone. They were having their life savings taken from them. My mum and dad's passed now, but if that had happened to my mum and dad, I'd have been devastated. So we came up with a simple ringtone for 99p that could save you or your family thousands and thousands of pounds. Now, a ringtone is something that tells you the phone's ringing. And I know a lot of people like their own music, and I have my own music on mine. But a lot of people like their own music. But when you get to a certain age, or you get a little bit forgetful, or you're just that way inclined that you're very trusting, we've invented a ringtone that's a very well-known tune for probably people over 50, and put some words to that as well. So when the actual ringtone rings, it says, "Don't give out your bank details to anyone on the phone, anyone on the phone, anyone on the phone." You've been singing this all day now. "Don't give out your bank details to anyone on the phone when you get rang at home." That will be the last thing they hear before they say hello. So if you get these criminals and idiots saying, "Oh, yes, I'm your bank, can you remember, can you give me," they'll say, no. Sorry, push, phone goes down. For 99p, you know, it could save thousands. This is just a few things we've done at the Purple Angel, and we're working on so much more at the moment. And all because we're passionate, and all because we love what we do. And I have to say, if it wasn't for you guys doing what you do and looking after people and caring for people, this country will come to a standstill. So from the bottom of my heart, and from everybody who not only has dementia, but are being looked after by a carer, I mean it so much. Thank you so, so much. You are dearly loved, each and every one of you. Please remember that people with dementia sometimes can think quite quickly on the feet. And my example for this is, I always remember I sat down one day to my computer and I forgot my password. I was devastated. If you think I'm speaking to over 65 countries a week or a month over the computer, over Zoom, far better than Skype, it's called Zoom. I couldn't get on Google, I couldn't get on Facebook, I couldn't get on Twitter, I couldn't get on LinkedIn, the posh ones. Hands up, who's on LinkedIn? Yeah, there's always one, usually. No, I'm on LinkedIn as well, so don't worry about it. But the thing is, I was absolutely alone and I couldn't speak to anyone. So I decided I had to have a password that I would always remember and never forget. And what I'm going to do today is share that password with you. Because for one, we have no money. And for two, we don't bank online. So it makes no difference. So the password I use now, so I never forget it, is I use the word incorrect. Yeah, have you got it? Because every time I get my password wrong, my computer says to me, your password is incorrect. See? See, people with dementia. Even people with dementia can think on the feet. Guys, it's been wonderful speaking to you. I am so sorry I can't be with you today. I feel like an Oscar performer. I would dearly love to, and maybe, who knows. People say, do you believe there's a cure? And I say, yeah. Do you believe there's a cure around the corner? I say, yeah. We know we haven't got one now, but there may be one around the corner. But the most ironic thing is, on the day that that cure arrives, the day that cure for dementia arrives, then dementia itself will become just a memory. How ironic is that? How ironic is that? Guys, you've been absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much. If you've enjoyed this, please feel free to record, share, and share with all you know, any other care homes. Ask them to contact me. I hope you like your Purple Angel badges. I hope you're wearing them with pride. And I hope to see lovely pictures of you all soon. Guys, you've been wonderful. Have a great day, and thank you for all you're doing. Bye.